What is up? Loaded the truck up, gonna go do some shore pounding and see if we can't find some striper. Haven't done this in a couple years, but we're gonna head out to the lake. I hope I got that. All right, made it out here to Silverwood, throwing around an underspin on 2-pound, and let's see if we can get anything. I haven't fished here in like 3 years, so we'll see. When we first arrived, there was a bait ball busting in the corner here, and I was throwing the 2-pound test in there to see if I could pull out any of these fish. And I was looking, and I was getting hit by tiny little baby striper. I'm talking like 2 to 3 inches, hitting a 2 to 3 inch swim bait, which was ridiculous. But you could see them back there in the shallow water, and I was just seeing if I could get a bite on one of these guys. The fish today were pretty spread out, but they were all over, so that was awesome. This first point we hit was relatively shallow. Like I said, I haven't been here in a couple of years, so we're looking around trying to spot the fish, and mostly just trying to sight cast because we'd heard that there had been some boils around. So we were looking for them on the surface. Boom, and I get my first hit, but as I reel it in, I feel nothing but dead weight, which is never a good sign in this lake. I don't think it's a fish. Darn it! Felt so good. As I look around the corner, I see him jumping in front of the next point.
They're boiling over here. Oh, come on. Come here, dude.
I don't know if you can see it, but they're pretty much straight out from me off of the next point, and they started moving in closer to the point that we were on, but still kind of in this cove. You can see them splashing here in the distance. Though we were seeing a ton of fish right now, a lot of them were staying a little bit out of reach. Even with 2-pound test and a pretty heavy lure, I couldn't quite get to where all of these fish are hitting. And it was getting kind of irritating because we knew that these fish are schooling and swimming around, but we couldn't get any of them to get close enough to cast at and commit to any of our lures. But we were hoping that we could get them at some point soon. But after a few tries, we called an audible.
We need to move.
We gathered up our gear and quickly started moving to a new location. We decided to head to the point downwards where all of these fish were.
Over there, brother.
So I quickly gathered up all my gear, loaded up the backpack, and headed that way.
Run!
Headed back to the other point, and as I was getting there, I could see them off in the distance still splashing around, and I quickly get my stuff on ready to go and wing out a cast. I was trying to work it a little quicker on this side to see if I can entice a bite, and they had kind of subbed out, but I knew the general area and I hit there, and I get bit instantly on the first cast. And this is better than any other action we'd had so far, and he hits again, and again I could not get a hook to stick. But at least we know we're getting action here, no weeds on there. So I reel up real quick and hit right back to the same spot. He had messed up the tail on my lure, which is a telltale sign that it was hit by something. But I load it back up, cast out, and on the sink, this thing gets slammed. And I let it sink again. And we are on the ultralight with 2-pound test. These things can pull, but it is a blast to fight them on the light line. It's so much fun. And there he is, a beautiful little striped bass. Not a beast, but still stoked. This guy did not want to be held, so he self-released himself. There's a little channel right there, and he threw him right back in the water.
The line, huh?
Casting right back out at the same spot.
Yeah.
As the
But the
sun went
branch, you
down,
can
they
get it off. It's the
actually
line that-
kind of stopped with the surface action a little bit. But they did move up a little bit shallower, which made it a little better for us to cast at them. But we're reeling in here, and Elias is dealing with a tree next to me. He ended up getting snagged in that. But I'm reeling in, and this is the first one that hits me up shallow. This surprised me and hit me right next to the cliff here.
I was
And
gonna
I missed the bite on that guy. And this time I'm casting in the cove. That's the other point that we started at. So I'm casting towards there and reeling towards where all the fish were hitting earlier. And just dragging this thing through that area. It was a deeper little hole. And eventually I start getting it close to me. I'm kind of slow rolling it with some twitches here and there. They seem to like a little slower retrieve later in the day. I think because these ones were a little smaller that we were targeting, they were moving in to get out of the dangerous area where all the big boys are. So we're kind of slow rolling it in with all this like shallow vegetation. And as I get close to the shore again, I get another hookup. You can see where I hooked it. He's like right next to the shore.
Hooray! He hit at the wall, bro.
I haven't caught a striper since pretty much COVID times, so this was pretty cool for me. Hadn't targeted him in a while, and stoked to get one.
Just a little guy.
Still on the same point here, but decided to switch up the camera angle a little bit. Got tired of wearing the chest mount. So here we are, same point, and again casting it out with a pretty slow retrieve here. Not really working this guy very fast, and I'm looking around at all times to see if I can find that bait school so I could recast and try and get right on top of the school. But I'm just giving this slow retrieve, trying to cover water the whole time, because once you get hit, it's very easy to get the second person to get bit if they cast back into the same spot. But I'm giving this guy a nice slow and steady retrieve. You can see how long it is. Just cruising it in. And like what happened on the ones before, these fish had moved up a little bit shallower, so they hit right next to the shore. This one took one quick run, and I'm going to flip him. And let me know if you would count this as a catch, because this gets kind of dumb.
Stay. I caught it, I swear. He just hit really good, and I was like, yes! Finally, it's not a child. It was a child.
Most of the fish that we were targeting today were schoolie sized, and they were pretty small, but still a blast on 2 pound. And this was actually the next cast, and I cast back to the exact same spot. And like I said, once you get bit once, you can kind of tell where all these striper are hanging and cast right back on the same area, and you can usually pick up a second fish. So I cast right back where I just got bit, and as I'm reeling it in slow again, I get closer to the shore, and again, these fish were cruising in close, and I am able to entice another bite right there.
I'm gonna get to hold this one. This one might be better.
Fighting a little.
He's fighting a little. Alright. Let's see. Can the rod handle it? Stay. There. Stripey boy. He's jealous. He's definitely jealous.
The guy next to us just kept watching us as we were catching fish.
Little stripey boy on the ultralight. Super fun. Oh.
And one of the problems with 2 pound is it can get frayed, and this can happen with your favorite lure.
Uh-oh.
My favorite underspin broke off, but it looks like it is in shallow water where I might be able to reach it.
But it landed right here, so. Yeah. I can't see it. See it.
Contemplating getting in the water to go and get my favorite lure, and I decide, why not? It looks like it's not that steep, but should be pretty easy retrieve here. And boy, was I wrong about that. It may not look like it, but I'm pretty much on a little cliff right here. And I feel my climbing flip-flop start sliding down, and I cannot see this lure anymore. So I'm kind of cooked at this point.
Uh-oh. Might be going in. It's not very nice down here. Oh. Alright. That bait was doing so good too. Oh. So tie something else on.
So I lost my underspin, so I just started casting a jig head with a little minnow. And I just was pretty much working it the same way as I was working before, but just without a jig head without a underspin this time. So I'm cruising this thing
right now.
just like I was before, along the grass.
Yeah.
But it appears that most of the schools had kind of moved on by now. So we're working in a little shallower, maybe hoping for a largemouth or something else to mix in. But again, right next to the shoreline, I get bit by another striped bass. Hooray! Oh, little guy. You want to use this rod? Ow, bro, just let me get you off the hook. Hooray. And there we go, another beautiful little striped bass. Nothing huge, just a small guy. But these things hit hard on the 2 pound, and it was a blast to catch them. So there you go, little buddy.
That one hit like a train, bro.
And this was my last cast here. So I see one more busting on the inside. So I give it a cast there, and I think I get hit instantly. And I set the hook, and whatever was on there seems to have come off. And I end up reeling up and end the day with the old faithful grass. Depressing. All right, so I'm throwing a Californian TCP 1000 on a Californian CTx trout rod on 2 pound. And then with that, I have it paired with a 1/8 ounce underspin and a little swim bait. And this has been a blast.